I'm here with Joseph Scott Morgan. He's a death investigator, and want to take a look at the autopsy, ladies and gentlemen. I want to show you the autopsy and have Joseph explain to us what it means and what the evidence shows us. And let's begin here. This photo. What does this show us, and what does it tell you?
Absolutely, Vinny. The most significant thing that we can see at this level is obviously the area that's been indicated right here. This is the entrance of the gunshot wound. This was identified by the medical examiner who did the autopsy, and we can see these little dots that are indicated around this area. This is referred to as stippling. This is the residue that's left over after the actual round has passed through the body, entered into Trayvon's body, and passed through his heart.
And what does it mean?
Well, what this means, this gives us an indication of range of fire. How far away were these two individuals away from one another when the weapon was discharged? In other words, like I said earlier, relationship. What's the relationship between Zimmerman and Martin? And this is critical to our case.
Okay, let's take a look at the, got to go to the next photo here from the autopsy. These are the hands of Trayvon Martin. What, if anything, does this tell you?
Okay. Incidental finding over here, scars. We all have these on our body. However, this area right in here, this is what some people have held as being significant. I don't really know. It's a 1/4 by 1/8 inch abrasion. The medical examiner is not very clear as to whether or not this is healing or if it's fresh. But this I do know. This is the only injury that Martin has on either one of his hands. So this would indicate that there's not a lot of defensive posturing that's going on. There's not a lot of contact that's going on that you would see in like a protracted fight.
Okay, after reading the autopsy, can you demonstrate for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury how far away and what the relationship was between George Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin at the time of the shooting?
Absolutely. I'm going to be Zimmerman. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what we believe is that what the police have said is that the back of Zimmerman's clothing was wet when they viewed him. And this is very interesting. It's critical relative to the range of fire. This is one thought. Zimmerman very well may have been on the ground at this point. His weapon is holstered. Martin is advancing on him. He's standing over the top of him, and as he is coming down towards Zimmerman, Zimmerman raises the weapon. Now, this is significant. The muzzle of the weapon touches the garment. Now, we know that that Martin was wearing a hoodie. We believe, as everybody can identify with, the clothing falls away. There's a conflict in the report. This weapon is fired. It discharges through the hoodie, through the T-shirt. The firearms examiner identifies this as a contact wound. The medical examiner says that the wound to the body was actually an intermediate distance, which means there was distance between the two.
What's intermediate? How long is
intermediate, we're talking about 2 inches to 12 inches. 2
to 12 inches.
Yes,
so
sir.
Contact, you're saying, because the hoodie is hanging off of the body.
Absolutely. And it's contact.
But intermediate because the hoodie is not next to the body, so you'd have that 2 to 12 inches there plus the contact here.
Exactly. And this goes to one other issue. Why is Trayvon's DNA not on the weapon? Well, you've got a barrier in between the weapon and Trayvon's body. Anything that enters the body and anything that's dispersed out of the body is not going to contact on what we refer to as blowback.